Hey, welcome to the Richie Mortgage Team podcast, sponsored and produced by the Velocity team at Click and Close Mortgage. I've got two special guests with me today, man, and Floridians and great realtors and great leaders of men, Jason Patino and Larry Fischer with LPT Realty. So, gentlemen, I appreciate you hopping on, and especially in light of what you guys have recently gone through with the hurricanes in Florida. So, man, appreciate you hopping on and welcome.
Thank you. Glad, appreciate it. Thank you for taking our time to have this interview and just share what's going on, boots on ground here in Florida, and what the future looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about this. So, Jason, talk to me about how you got into the business. I know, Larry, your buddy Larry, was very influential in regards to helping you get to where you are now. So, talk about that and let the audience know how you got to where you are right now.
Well, I was a reluctant realtor. I got my license to buy vacation rentals. I wanted to do a retirement path with that. And my uncle, who was in the Navy in Vietnam, he joined Larry's team, came over from another not so great brokerage. And he was raving about it. Every Sunday at church, he'd be talking about it. And you got to come meet these guys. You're going to love them. So I finally agreed to consider taking on another full-time role like real estate. And went and met Larry, and it was fantastic. We immediately were simpatico, and one of my requirements for working with an organization, coming from Fortune 100s and 500s, I was director of recruitment for many big companies, was that ethics and morality and the ability to manage what's right and what's wrong, and then act upon that. I've been through a lot of companies that can't do that. It's all about the money, and I don't operate that way. When I met with Larry and communicated with Larry, we were on path with that, and now we're a year and a half into it, and he is 100% ethical, 100% moral. He manages this company by what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, and there's no in betweens, and that's something that's important for me. So that's one of the reasons why I'm diehard into what Larry's created here.
Sure.
And I don't know what Larry thinks, but that's what I came up with.
Well, we're about to find out. So, Larry, all right, so tell the audience about your real estate career, because you were in the military, and then you just decided one day, hey, I'm done with the military, I'm gonna be a realtor, or how does that work? How do we get there?
So it's an interesting story. I served 16 years in the Army. I had 6 deployments. I enlisted in '99 as a private. Went to boot camp Fort Sill, Oklahoma. But then I got honor grad, and then I went to advanced course at Fort Bliss, Texas, and got distinguished honor grad. And as a result, I fired a Stinger missile and hit a ballistic aerial target flying, called a bat, flying through the sky. And I hit a missile with a missile. And as a result of that, when I went back to my unit, they were like, wow, that hasn't happened in like forever with a Stinger missile. We're going to send you to officer candidate school at Fort Benning. So I went to Fort Benning, and then I graduated OCS, called Green and Gold, which is like a Mustang program that candidates get selected for achieving. And then I was one of the youngest guys in my OCS class to graduate. And right out of officer candidate school, I went back to the National Guard, and I was a commander of a unit for Hurricane Charlie, Hurricane Ivan, Hurricane Jean, and that's what I did. Army National Guard with multiple deployments. So I'm familiar with hurricanes, and just getting through one right now in Florida. One story, funny story, we were driving our Humvees into the storm, and as we're driving into the storm, I put my hand out the window thinking it would go back, but the wind was behind us, and my hand was going forward during the storm. So that's what your National Guard guys do. They drive right into the storm, and so I pretty much took that same response into the real estate market. Life's about the moments, the memories you make with your loved ones. Ultimately, it's not about doing stuff that you read about in a book. I had a top secret SCI clearance. And my last mission, I was the Army section chief running all the military operations out of the embassy in Guyana. So I was lonely on top. And, I was thinking to myself, how can I pour into my family? How can I pour into relationships? I lost buddies in Iraq, lost buddies in Afghanistan. And it just something happened, something clicked. And I was like, you know what? I just want to be with my family and make moments and memories with my loved ones. So I went to my chain of command. I resigned my commission, and I took my TSP, which is called your thrift savings plan. It's like your 401k for the military. Right. And I pulled it all out. I pulled it out, and I paid the penalties for early withdrawal, but I put it into Zillow, and I 10x'd it. by putting that money, that, I don't know, 40,000 into marketing in myself. And I bet on myself.
Right.
And in doing so, I 10x'd it. Jason, we fast forward a few years. Jason joined our team
July 9th,
2023.
2023.
And I think we probably had 20 agents.
Yeah.
So that was 2023. Fast forward to today, we have 87 agents.
Okay.
In a 12-month, a little over a 12-month window. And, it's been fantastic. It's been breakneck speeds.
Breakneck.
We're now a partner with Zillow, and Zillow gives us $300,000 a month budget with buyer leads and seller leads. And we're a Christian conservative group. If people, not everyone is a Christian, everyone's conservative, but they're tolerant. The big thing for us is we got to be tolerant of one another and just respect each other. And that's what makes the world go around. So I always preface like, hey, we're a Christian conservative group. If that offends you, that's not the organization for you. But if you can tolerate that and we can break bread, hey, this is it. So we've grown significantly since that. And the culture is the glue that binds you. We protect our culture because that's our clients when we work with, and that's our image. So here we are today, and I'm really happy to be part of this podcast. So let's.
No. So let's talk about that. So you get out of the military because you're trying to spend more time with your family. Is LPT of your own creation, or was it already an established? Okay, so it's an already established real estate company. And then you basically, this is a great lesson for the audience in general and just, life in general. It's like, if you can't bet on yourself and you can't invest in yourself, who else will, right? And who else can? So, I still get coaching. And Jason, you and I talk about this. I still get coaching because, I think if you're not trying to get better every day, you're getting worse because there's no staying the same. The point is, there's always little tidbits of things that you can sharpen the pencil and try to get better at every day. And so one of the things that, my coach constantly tells me is like, there's a difference between being frugal and managing a business, and there's something different in regards to like being cheap. You gotta write small checks to cash big checks. So the fact that, you were new, Larry, into the industry and took your retirement and basically chunked the whole thing into buying Zillow leads, there had to be a little bit of apprehension and uneasiness when you first started doing that, right?
Well, I looked at it as, I'm going to be home with my family, but I'm going to treat it like an employment. And I told my wife, I said, hey, look, I'll work 30 days, 90 days straight to put food on our table. And that's exactly what I did. And when you take that work ethic, hard work works. That's it. And I took that approach and it paid off.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I wanted to bring something else up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
You brought up LPT. I think it's important for your viewers to understand LPT. So LPT is not any kind of regular brokerage that people understand.
Absolutely.
We're only a couple years old. 2022.
Yeah, 2022 they launched.
2022. They are the fastest growing real estate brokerage in all time.
In the history of real estate.
We're over 24,000. It's hard to get a number on it, but it's that much within that amount of time.
Like, almost 3 years, almost 20,000 agents.
Every other agent's taken more than 10 years to get over 20,000.
So let's talk about that. So what can we attribute to LPT's growth rate?
Two things. So Robert Palmer is our CEO. He had a mortgage company out here. It's very successful in Florida. They pay your closing costs. Then from there, he bought Listing Power Tools, which is a marketing box. You got one around? We got a marketing box.
I do.
And this marketing box, you get for free. For every listing, you get 186-piece media set. It's all thick cardstock, color, your face on it, your information on it. Gives you for free for every listing you have. You roll out. You can even pick one up and go sell a listing with it, And so this is what we get at LPT. And really, he is a marketing genius, and that's why this company grows, because we have all of this for free. If you can see in the this way,
absolutely,
reverse, all this material that we're able to get and immediately canvas the neighborhood and do traditional real estate,
door knocking.
Now we also do all of the internet viral. We also do campaigns where we mail things in. We also do where we're doing Facebook ads targeted on, we do all of that real estate stuff. But one of the things that Robert's done to create a successful company is give all these marketing tools within our intranet, LPT Connect. And in this intranet, you're actually able to navigate all of these items, all of your marketing. Now, on top of that, there's a downline system here. So Larry brought in my uncle brought in me. For every time my uncle meets his goal for the year, it's $5,000 is her cap for the business builder, $15,000 for the rev share model. Rev share model, you get double the stock, and you get your downline 7 levels down opened up to get paid from. He makes X amount of money.
Sure.
Right. And so you get a certain amount of money for the business builder and a lot more money when people move to rev share, because that means you're being successful in their building. So every time I make sales and at the end of the month it tallies up, he gets a percentage of that my uncle gets a percentage of, and it works all the way to 7 levels. Right.
Right.
And so EXP has a model like this. Ours is a lot easier to make money on than EXP's, but that has created a very viral movement of agents going, oh, wow, this is a great company. If you're not with the military vet team, we're just a team with LPT Realty. We're one of the large Florida teams. But if you're not with our team, you could be a solo agent with LPT Realty. And through LPT Connect, you can connect with teams like us to help you with your listings. We're all still part of one brokerage. So there's a lot of interconnectivity with LPT agents. We throw a lot of parties for LPT agents all over.
Sure.
And that model where you can bridge team and single agent, and that model where there's information sharing, there's knowledge sharing, there's a lot of videos that people create that they share with each other on our intranet. Robert Palmer is a programmer, and he specifically is the lead designer of our LPT Connect. He's the only CEO in the real estate industry that actually codes. So the stuff that we're working with is the best in the industry because he's the one creating.
He also meets with us every Monday on Motivational Mondays. I don't know of any CEOs or real estate founders that pours into people like he pours in.
That's right.
Every Monday, Motivational Monday. On Friday, he's talking to all his mega teams, doing coaching. On just the level of abundance that he comes from and he pours into us has been life-changing. Yeah. Once agents get Black Badge, they sell 35 units. They'll get $15,000 towards their marketing spend. LPT owns its own print shop, and that's why we can get these high-quality collateral print material at cost.
Yeah.
So other brokers don't have that. It's a game changer. Combat multiplier is what we call it in the military.
Right.
And when we bring that into the field of real estate, we're winning.
Now, the steroids that this man added to that was he took his relationship with LPT and the tools that they offer, and then he added his relationship that he earned and he built with Zillow. So we are very much a Zillow premier agency.
Okay.
We list for Zillow, we sell for Zillow, we take their buyers, we take their listers.
Their showcase.
We're showcase Zillow agents. Their loan officers call us directly on our phones and say, I've got a customer, they're qualified, this is what they're looking for, go get them a home. And we go take them from the loan officer and we go find them a home. And so Zillow feeds us in every way that they can, and we do the best to feed them as well.
Agents get $3,000 a month budget. Some agents get sometimes $9,000 a month marketing budget just by being on our team. We also have 35 full-time admins. We have a social media team, we have a marketing team, a listing team, you name it. And it allows the agents to build the relationships, the networking. It's about, it's a relationship business. And they could focus in on that while the admin team supports all the back-end operations.
So we've dealt with hurricane damage. He's got 2 homes that are still in 5 foot of water because they flooded his area
with the Colucci
to maintain non-floods in other area.
Right.
I've dealt with 2 units that flooded, and I'm just getting them done because I got one lease tomorrow, one leased on Tuesday.
Right.
So all the electrical, all the appliances, all the furniture, everything's got to get redone.
Sure.
So we're working at breakneck speed, get them running again because they don't make money if they're not sitting there with people in it.
Right.
This whole time I'm closing deals. This whole time I've got active deals going. I was talking to someone 5 minutes before I picked up the phone and picked up the podcast with you. My admins are the ones carrying that weight.
Everything.
I just text over. So-and-so needs this. Or someone texts me something, I forward to them. Can take care of this. And they just do it all. I haven't written a contract
Yeah.
since July 9th.
You review it though.
I review them
Yes,
all.
you
I
review
read
Right.
them. You inspect what you expect.
That's it.
I
Yeah.
read them all.
Trust but
However,
verify.
I've not written it. I don't have to. I don't have to write the amendments. I don't have to do all that. I send it to my admin team. My admin team does all that work for me. And what does it do for me? It keeps me running. It keeps me
Sure.
going in the field and focused on the front.
Keeps you on the money making activities. So
Right.
real quick before we get into the hurricanes, 'cause I know that's a hot topic that we definitely want to address. So what I'm hearing from you guys, and look, I've got a real long history, family history of real estate. My parents were longtime Keller Williams agents, so I'm very familiar with the downline but I want to clarify. So you said you guys had a revenue sharing model similar to EXP. Is it based on gross profit or net profit?
It's based on what production the agents are coming in. You're making a percentage of that.
Yep.
Okay. So gross.
So it's gross.
Yes.
Yes.
The reason why I ask is because I think it's important for our audience to understand, because it's a much more viable revenue sharing model if it's based on gross. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. So my dad's been at Keller Williams for years upon years upon years, and one of his good buddies that he actually created their teaching model from, called Bold, went to EXP, and he tried to get my dad to go. My dad didn't end up going, and my dad to this day regrets not going to EXP because it was based on gross revenue share as opposed to net revenue share. And he goes, man, I would have been retired based on how many people that I've known over the years that I've brought into the business. So I think it's very important that your audience knows that. The second thing that I think is very important is, unlike any of the other, I'm not going to say any, unlike a great majority of the real estate companies in America, your CEO and owner personally pours his valuable time into each and every agent and manager of offices and things of that nature, because he's like, you get out of it what you put into it. So I can't ask my people to, work if I'm not willing to invest in them and answer their questions and market on their behalf and help grow their business. Because it goes back to what, the old Zig Ziglar approach, guys, right? You help other people get what they want. You're going to, the byproduct is you get what you want. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
Servant leadership. He is one of the best examples of servant leadership.
Yeah. So perfect. All right. So Larry, so then you run across Jason. What kind of qualities, what kind of attributes did you see in Jason where you're like, man, I got to have this guy on my team?
Just a hustler, hungry for knowledge, solid Christian man, and good ethics. And, work ethic it's tough to find someone with as much as a work ethic and discipline just to get stuff done. And when you find people like that, you just hold on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And then so
at what point did we create the veteran team, and how did that come about?
So when I got out of the military, I'm like, that's who I am. I mean, they would call me Captain America because I was captain in the Army. And I'm like, you know what? I got to take this brand. We have a very big military presence. We have CENTCOM over MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. We have SOCOM, SOCCENT, 2 combatant commands, and then we have the VA over at Bay Pines, and that's a regional VA facility, and the Coast Guard station. So we have so much military presence here, and everyone likes to work with, the flavor of freedom is rich, and people like to work with veterans, and we like to say, where experience and discipline meet, the military vet team. If you were to even just Google military veteran team, we're number 1 in the world just on that organic Google.
And we're trying to hire as many veterans as possible. One of our big outreaches with recruiting is veterans don't have to have experience. They just need to show up and be willing to work and have the tools to do it. And we will get them through. We'll teach them how to be realtors. And so, a lot of this branding has to do with who we want to be hiring. We want to be hiring veterans.
Love it. And agents, brand new agents. We just had a brand new agent. He's had his license for 5 months. He's been with our team for 2 months, and he has 12 deals under contract and being with our team in 2 months. His name's Spiro. Spiro's crushing it.
Yeah, Spiro's great.
And we pour into people, and they blossom and grow.
Yeah.
So it's so fast.
So we'll run through my year, right?
Yeah.
So July 9th, I joined. I'm a armchair agent for mom
of 23, right?
23, right?
Okay.
I got my license because I couldn't stand all the realtors I was working with trying to find vacation rentals. They wouldn't listen to me. They wouldn't understand what I was looking for. I started trying to do fix and flips. I worked with Robin Thompson, a big flipper out here, and did some mentoring. And so my needs were great as far as what a realtor would want to deal with. So I just said, you know what, let me get my own. So I got my own, and I was doing fine with building my vacation rental business. And I decided to go back to work because I was spending 3 hours a day doing jujitsu and 4 hours a day playing guitar and singing for my men's group at church. And my wife's like, you're 47. Stop it. You're not retired. You are not. She's like, I'm still working. I'm going to quit if you don't go back to work.
Right.
So that's why I was like, all right, well, you're not going to quit. So, because I can't afford you. I can afford me retired. I can't afford you retired. Right. So I started, and I told Larry, because I'm a lifelong recruiter. I've worked for DuPont, Mazda, Ford, Daimler. I've worked for huge companies, a lot of .coms. Yeah. So I said, look, I'm gonna, because what turned me on to this was the downline model. Our downline model is willable. Like when the money comes in, it doesn't stop. Sure. Because I stop working, it doesn't stop. It's for the rest of the chain for as long as it lasts. Yeah. So that I don't work for pay anymore. I work for residual income, and to me, this fell in line with my model of residual income. That means more to me than a paycheck. So I said, let me get the job down. Let me do the job. Once I'm successful at the job, then I want to move more into the recruiting aspect.
Sure.
And so within 6 months, and I think really the turning point was January, I was immediately making 10 grand a month. You know, as a new agent, that's pretty good, right?
That's really good.
And I'd sold, I think, 32 or 28 deals by January. And then what I decided to do, because January we were getting a lot of leads from Zillow and people were trying to vacation. And I said, you know what, I'm going to do a January blitz. I'm going to do 16 hours a day. I'm not going to stop working. There's no breaks. And I did a daily scorecard where I measured all of my calls, all of my relationships, all the meetings I had, how much money a day I was dealing with clients. I sold $5 million in January, and only 400,000 of that fell off in the process.
Hold on. Let me interject. So you said 16-hour days, immediate blitz. So what kind of money-making activities was involved in that for the audience, so they can know, like, you didn't just snap your finger and stand on a chair?
We do real estate differently. So there's this big fire hose over here called Zillow.
Right.
And then we come right up to it. We're like, you ready? Like, I think I'm ready. You ready? I think I'm ready. It's like so much coming at us. We have a lot of leads. Our problem is not leads. Our problem is not finding clients. Our problem is handling clients and getting competent people to deal with the leads. I have so many leads when I turn my lead phone on, and I do mean when I turn it on. I can't have it on all the time. I'll die. That I have my whole downline that I feed. When I get leads in, if I'm too busy, I just start putting it out on my channels. It's on my downline, and they'll pick it up and they'll run with it, and I'm feeding them. We come from a place of abundance. Here, if you can't work a lead, you just throw it up on the lead channel and someone else grabs it and runs with it. We don't worry about splitting commissions. We don't worry about who's going to get what. We come from abundance, and Zillow has given us that opportunity. Yep. Now, with that opportunity, we also have all of these relationships our agents created, all these rooted relationships within the towns that we work in. And now we have all these organics coming back our way 2 years, 3 years, 4 years into it. So really, Zillow is a launching pad for agents to build their pipeline for life. Exactly. Yeah. So come January, we blow it out of the water, and then it just sets the tone. And at that point, I'm getting into recruiting at that point. He goes, you know what? Time for you to be director of recruitment. And
senior director of recruiting.
Senior says, he put the senior in. Senior, I'm not that old. Senior
citizen.
I'm almost 7 years away. So from that point on, it was like, hey, let's talk to other people. Let's bring people in. So I'm splitting my days between recruiting and selling.
Sure.
Well, the problem with that is you bring people in and they're like, yeah, I want to do this. Yeah, let's go. You know, I get these Army guys that come in and they're like, well, how do I do this job now? And I'm like, okay, good question. Come to my house, 8 a.m. The phone turns on, be button seat. You know, I have a desk set up for them by mine. And we just go. People started coming to my house every morning. I'd schedule people for every morning. And we'd work together. We'd do it together. And then it grew to where we started building our own curriculum. And then we have a certification process, and we have a whole coaching team that we work with. And then now we have those courses. And so now we've got this whole training program that includes mentoring with other people like me. We've brought on 2 other senior recruiters that will also take people on, work with them, share leads with them so that they can get started the minute they hit the team. They can start working on jobs the day they hit the team with the leads. We're not going to let them do it alone. They're going to do it with us, and then we walk them through it.
Okay. So what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we have a very articulate and detailed process that we follow on a day-to-day basis, regardless of motivation. And then we like to work we like to work with and help veterans, but more importantly, we also want to help recruit veterans to work in your organization. Larry, talk about the attributes of the veterans, of why you want to help them with home ownership, but more importantly, why do you want them to be a part of your organization relative to just someone off the street?
I think the sacrifice that they made for us to pour into them and to put them in our immersion training that we have, and then we have a very train-the-trainer type of process, and a lot of that is parallel from what I've learned in the military, and it's so plug and play for what we're doing here in the real estate sector. And for folks that have been through that experience, anytime you go to combat, you get certified on your weapon systems, your medal, your mission essential task list. And we're doing that here for real estate. So if you're going to go work Zillow leads, you're going to get Zillow certified. And this is how you become buyer certified. And we've taken all those nuances of what makes our military so amazing, and we made it applicable here. So to have someone that has that experience, that has the discipline, that knows what the suck looks like, I mean, those are the best candidates ever. And they know the flavor of freedom. That's rich, man.
Yeah.
And I find that a lot of our military recruits, they're the ones calling me at 11 o'clock at night, still working on deals. They're the ones that are like, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Can I stop by? And they want to get by the lead phone, and it's like, we've taken it to where we do open mentoring in the office on certain days of the week, where anyone who wants to mentor and work with senior agents comes in, and we all work together. And then any leads that come in, we distribute based on first come, first serve. And these are the guys that are showing up, guys and girls that are showing up because they're hungry. They want to get aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone has a voice and a way to communicate. So everyone is broken down into squads, and that each squad has 6 assistants and 2 TCs that support the squads.
Alpha squad.
And there's 30 agents is the max right now. I think we're running about 24 agents per 6 squad, or 6 admins per squad and TCs. And everyone has a squad's number. They have Kaylee is our team coach, our team mom. Has her number, and then I'm the last line of defense, and everyone has my cell phone number. So no one's going to be left alone trying to figure out what do I do. We have such good redundancy in communication and support, and our attrition rate, we don't have an attrition problem. Not one bit. But we do take military. We do take folks who are not military. But there is a sweet spot in my heart for our military.
And we will let agents go when we find them doing things that are not for the benefit of the team
100%.
and not for the benefit of their partners. And we find that some agents think selfishly and they're just not a fit here, and we just let them go. It's not for us.
Yeah, we determine that they're not like-minded and like-hearted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
that's right.
Like you personally, but you're not like-minded and like-hearted. So basically, what I'm hearing is as long as you're willing to come in here and put in the effort, then you're going to get the abundance of support and resources to be successful for you and your family, and more importantly, to your clients.
So fast forward 14 months before the hurricane hit into my career here, I'm at close to 24 million in sales, over 60 deals.
Wow, that's great.
A little over 1 year. And I wasn't really a retail agent before. I was learning all the nuances of being a retail agent during this whole time, right?
Trajectory.
So, I mean, I knew how to write a contract because I did that, and I knew how to help mom, dad, and friends. But so if I can do that, anyone else can do it. I am not the highest IQ guy in my family, right? But I do work till 5, 6 in the morning if I have to, like I did last night. I will work harder than anyone.
Well, there's a saying that one of my coaches, my mortgage coaches, told me, and he goes, don't don't outthink yourself. Just be Bob, which basically means here's the process. Execute the details of the process, regardless of whether you're motivated or not. Don't be clever. Just be Bob. And
Yeah.
so, if someone's wanting to get into the real estate industry in Florida, and they come hang out with you guys, it's the same thing. Don't be clever, just be Bob. Just do exactly what we've already, put in place, and
That's right.
you're going to be successful. Is that right?
Yeah, and what we put in place is important. He spends a lot of money on technology. We have the
Sure.
best database, which is Follow Up Boss. It's integrated with Zillow. We have tons of technology for lead capturing, following up with people. We have 3 different AIs
AI.
working for us. We're big in the AI thing, and a lot of that is just doing lead recapture and bringing people back up to where you get a text going, so and so wants to go look at this property. You're like, oh, I forgot about that guy. Hey, I hear you want to go look at, and they're talking to your assistant who's AI.
Sure.
So there's a lot of stuff we do to help support you with technology, and a lot of technology you get when you walk into the door here. And status, being that we are top Zillow agents, you walk into the door and now you're a top Zillow agent with us. You didn't earn that, we earned that, but
Right.
you get
The
that.
byproduct.
Now,
Well,
tell them what that gives you. Being a top Zillow agent gives you an advantage in the marketplace. You're getting your own listings on Zillow. When you list on Zillow, that marketing's not going to some other person. That's going right to you.
no agents can get our listings where they're going to pay for those buyer leads.
Mhm.
It's that agent, that listing agent is getting those buyer leads sent straight to them because of our status with Zillow.
We're also in the premier spot. So if you're doing a search on Zillow and you're looking at certain homes and ours on it, we're up top with a special border. We're highlighted. Our photography is free. We don't pay for it. All of the 3D, they do a 3D floor plan. They do a 3D walkthrough. They do a drone of the neighborhood. They do YouTube video. All this is free. And then our social media team takes what they give us on Showcase and they throw our AI on it. And we've got Talking Head Kaylee going through the description of it, and we don't even write our listings. Our listings go to the listing team. They put them all together. Then we go into it and we double check everything's right. And
Sure.
and we put the final touch.
The AI looks at the photos and does a write-up based on the photos.
Yeah. Tell me
Oh, wow.
one realtor out there that
Yeah.
would like to stop writing their own listings.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all of us. I pass
The
on
AI
that.
looks at the photos and writes a script.
Wow.
And then they take the script and they have a Vanna White YouTube commercial for every listing. And you show that to the clients, the consumers are like, all right, where do I sign?
So between the technology we use for our sales and marketing, what LPT gives us with our print marketing and our traditional real estate marketing, we're at the top of the game here. Nobody has better technology. Nobody has better process. Nobody has better coaching. Nobody has better mentoring. And guess what? We don't have this like, oh, you're in a mentor program. You owe us 6 deals for this. No, man, you show up. We work together. If there's a deal you're going to work on, well, you're going to split it with me because I'm coaching you and I'm teaching you how to do it. And I'm your fallback. We're doing this together. You're not doing it without me. You're doing it with me. That's the whole training process.
Sure.
Right. But you're not committed to that. If a lot of my agents, they'll be with me. They'll be with me and they're running. And all of a sudden it's like, where'd he go? Hey, I got this deal. Oh, no, I'm busy. I got to do this. Oh, I got 6 meetings. I can't. I'm like, you don't have time for me anymore. And they're like, I don't. I'm too busy. I'm like, done.
Yes.
Next agent.
Yeah. You're like my task has been completed. My goal has been completed. So let's obviously it goes without saying that LPT is the spot to be at. Let's talk about another subject that we've talked about in the green room, which is hurricanes in Florida, how it's affected the real estate market, and why is it still a great time to buy in Florida?
Yeah, I think if we were to look past in history of what Hurricane Sandy did to New Jersey, those properties were going for pennies on the dollar. It was just catastrophic devastation everywhere you looked. And we're seeing that right now. We had an office on the beach. We had 4 feet of water in there. We lost everything. I got 2 houses right now underwater still on the Withlacoochee River. It's 4 or 5 feet under there, and that river is not going to recede. But just to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm just telling people those properties in New Jersey from Hurricane Sandy were devastated. But if you fast forward 10 years later, they're 4 times expensive as then. So we're seeing a lot of people right now with those waterfront homes. They're selling just for the lot because FEMA's coming in and they're just condemning these properties because of FEMA flood code. If the property value is 50% or less, you can't improve the property unless you raise it up. And a lot of these properties are being red tagged. So there's a lot of buying opportunity for on the water right now. And there's a program called Homeward. Well, they'll give you 75% of the AVM, automated valuation, cash, and buy the house. And for those who are enrolled into the program as agents, they'll get that listing from Homeward. There's some really good programs out there, and that we have affiliations with that we can really tee up some major successes for clients who want to buy, who have some capital, and for the agents who want to get those listings. So I see this as, there's opportunity. There's a light at the end of the tunnel here. Just because we got devastated, we're gonna build back better.
So Larry, what I'm hearing you say, hold on, sorry, Jason, real quick. So what I'm hearing Larry say is basically what all the wives look for at a department store. Everything's on sale right now. So now's the buying opportunity to get in, because you're not at the top of the market. You're at, the middle or the bottom part of the market. And then we only have, only place to go with the real estate value is up. And, after everything's gone away, everything's been rebuilt. Now you're in for pennies on the dollar. And now you've got built-in equity. Is that a good understanding?
100%.
So I'm a Florida boy. I've been through all the storms here. I remember Hurricane Andrew. I slept on my roof for 2 weeks because it was colder on my roof than it was in the house. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So,
and you're still here.
I was back in my Boy Scout time, right? Where sleeping outside was fun. Don't worry about hurricanes in Florida. They come and go. What you worry about is the house you buy. Buy the right house. Not all homes are affected by these storms. Brick homes, hurricane windows, have some elevation to the home. If you're by the water, make sure it's up so that everything that happens below when water comes through doesn't affect you at all. So that's one thing. And then another thing, I was talking to one of my stock advisors yesterday or 2 days ago, and we were talking about Boeing. And Boeing has had all these problems. Their stock is down 40% right now. Guess what Boeing is to real smart people who invest? A buy. You buy Boeing. Boeing's the largest employer in America. Boeing's too big to fail. Boeing's always going to get its second chance. All right. Florida is the greatest vacation state in America. Florida's never going to fail. Florida's always going to be a vacation state. It's buy time. This is when you're looking to get into Florida.
And retire time. Everyone retires in Florida.
Yeah. And you talk to I've got one client who trades stocks in Wall Street, and he's buying $1 million place in downtown St. Pete. I go, hey, give me a stock tip. He goes, here's your stock tip. He goes, you never buy until there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the water, break out your money, start buying. Blood in the water, people.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Buy when it's on sale, right?
Buy when it's on sale.
Awesome. Well, guys, man, listen, hey, I literally could sit here and talk to you guys for another hour, but I know you guys got important things to do, and I just appreciate you sharing some valuable time with us on our podcast. Is there anything that I should have asked that I didn't ask, or anything that you guys want to touch on that we didn't get a chance to touch on before we run?
If you want to join LPT Realty Military Vet Team, give us a call. You can reach me at 727-722-8922. Or just email jasonknows, KNOWS, Florida @gmail.com.
And Google Military Vet Team and see why we're #1 in the world.
Awesome.
Yeah, check that out.
Well, the funny thing is that was exactly what I was just getting ready to do after I was going to say, hey, if the folks in Florida wanted to find you, how do they find you? And that's my standard question. So, but you guys already touched on it. Man, guys, I appreciate you both taking time out of your valuable schedule, especially in light of the things that you guys have been through and are still going through. If there's any customers out there that, ever thought about buying any property in Florida, based on these two, highly trained and educated individuals, now's the time to do it. Buy when blood's in the water. There's definitely some blood in the water in the real estate prices. And realtors, any new realtors, any existing realtors, if you're saying to yourself, man, I could be really good at real estate. I love it. I just don't have the support. I don't have the tools. Now is the veteran team over at LPT, Jason and Larry. You need to look these guys up, and they're gonna help you guys out.
90-10 organic.
Love to talk.
Take your money home.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, hey, I appreciate you hopping on. And for any of you folks out there that want to see this podcast, or you got any mortgage related questions, you can always go to therichiemortgageteam.com, or you can always give my team a call if you got any mortgage related questions at 972-679-1028. 972-679-1028, and we are always going to constantly bring great content like these two awesome guys on. They can educate and provide support. So subscribe, like, and follow our podcast, and we'll go from there, man. But until the next time, appreciate you joining it. So thanks, guys.